Yeah,
Okay, good morning, grade 11 students. Let's go back to our oral communication in context class. What makes communication complex? Communication is complex for several reasons. It is interactive because many processes are involved. It is symbolic because symbols are open to interpretation. It is personal and cultural because a person's culture can add a new or different meaning to a phrase or gestures. Once again, welcome to my class 11th graders. We are in oral communication in context. Our topic lesson for today is focused on the models of communication. Before we move on, our lesson objectives are the following: differentiate the various models of communication and appreciate the importance of models in our daily life. The best way to understand communication is to see it graphically. Many authors and researchers have come up with their own models based on what they want to emphasize as being an important component of communication. And why do we need to study about communication model? It is a process wherein a sender sends a message to a receiver through the various channels, and the other channel sender gets the feedback from the receiver. The elements in communication are the important ingredients in the models of communication. For you to be able to understand the process of communication, different models are interpreted. What is a model? A model is the representation of real-world phenomenon in more abstract terms, which can be applied in different forms. We use models to simplify the concepts of communication process in a graphic. There are three general types of communication models in which all other communication models are mostly categorized. We have the linear model, second is interactive model, and the third one is transactional model. Let's take them one by one. When we say linear model, from the term linear, it is a one-way communication. The sender sends the message and the receiver receives only the message. Therefore, there is no feedback. Regarding the concept of noise, the channel selected may affect the way a receiver interprets a message. Disruptions may also occur at any point. These disruptions are known as noise. It can be psychological noise whereby the psychological state of the receiver will affect the interpretation of the message. This psychological state includes stress, anxiety, anger, and others. Another key feature of linear model is it involves persuasion, not mutual understanding. We have the disadvantages. What are those? It is good at audience persuasion. There are intentional results used in mass communication. Those are the disadvantages, the advantages of linear model. Let's move on to the disadvantages of linear model. The communication is not continuous because, as I've told you, there is no feedback. It is not interactive. This means that it is difficult rather to identify if communication was effective. Okay, different models that follow linear model of communication are Aristotles Model, and then we have another one, Claude Shannon and Warren Weaver's model. So here is the diagram. Aristotle's model is the first and the earliest model. So as you can see in the diagram, Aristotle focused in the speaker and the message. The most important part in Aristotle's model is the setting where the listener is situated. It is the setting that dictates the message. What are these three settings in Aristotle's time? We have legal, deliberative, and ceremonial. Okay, when we say legal setting, it meant the courts where ordinary people defended themselves because there were no lawyers then. Deliberative setting meant to political assemblies, the highest of which was the Roman Senate. Then we have another setting, which is the ceremonial setting, meant the celebrations held when the Roman Senate won a war, when they lost a leader or had a new one, and when they welcomed a visiting leader from another kingdom or country. Next, we have the second model that follows linear model is the model of Claude Shannon and Warren Weaver. This model gave us the concept of noise. This model is said to be the mother of all communication models. So I'm going to show you the diagram. As you can see in the diagram, there are only 5 basic elements: the source, the transmitter, the channel, the receiver, and the destination. We can say that it is quite ineffective. Why? Why is it that it is ineffective? Because there is no feedback. As you can see, there is no feedback. That is why this model can also be considered linear type of communication. When we say linear again, it means one-way communication or one-way stream. Now, this is for Shannon Weaver and Claude Shannon and Warren Weaver's model. For the next general type of communication, we have the interactive. So first we have the linear, and now we're moving on to what we call interactive. So another philosopher had discovered new model, or he made some revisions because communication must have proper feedbacking. The word interactive means it is a two-way process where a response is given after a message is sent. It is used for media like internet, wherein people can respond to any mass communication like videos, news, and others. People can exchange views and ideas. There is feedback, which makes the cycle interactive or collaborative, but it is not simultaneous. So there is now the feedback. Unlike in the linear model, there is no feedback. The models of communications that are considered interactive are, we have Wilbur's Crumbs model and Eugene White's model. Scrum's model and Eugene White's model. In the Scrum's model, the sender encodes the message, which is then transmitted in the form of a signal to the receiver, who decodes the message and responds by encoding another signal even before the sender has completely sent the message. Wilbur's Scrum is considered to be the father of communication. Scrum's model is concerned with a concept that explains why communication breakdown occurs. He asserted that communication takes place if and only if there is an overlap between the field of experience of the speaker and the field of experience of the listener. This model is based on the convergence approach. That is why various kinds of noise can possibly distort the message. What solves now the problem is the feedback, because it allows the sender to modify the information from what he or she observes from the receiver. Okay, another model that is considered interactive is of Eugene White's model. So here is again the diagram. This model tells us that communication is circular and continuous. As you can see, there is no beginning or end because it's circular. This is why he made a cyclical or cyclical model. It shows a kind of communication that is repetitive. It implies a step-by-step sequence of events. You have to repeat every event, but the quality of interaction is unnoticed. You don't know who your audiences are. Here, the audience as the receiver is a passive reactor. Why passive reactor? Because they don't initiate communication. There is no proper feedbacking. As a speaker, you will never know if the audience is already bored listening to you. The last category of communication model is the transactional model. What is transactional model? Here, in transactional model, the sender and the receiver both are known as communicators, and they play important role in communication. Our daily conversations and interactions with other people are examples of transactional model communication. So when we interact with other people, when we negotiate with other people, those are considered transactional model. Communication becomes more efficient and effective when the participants are of similar environment, when they know each other and share the same social system. So these are our lesson on the models of communication. Our topic will end up until here. See you again next time as I give you another new lesson in oral communication in context. I hope you have learned something today. I am so grateful that you are watching my video. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to click the like button. If you are not yet subscribing, kindly subscribe on my YouTube channel, Marlita Perez. I am just a click away from you, my dear grade 11 students. Should you have any question, just comment down below. Bye!